Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good, good
Evening,
evening to
sir.
all. I hope I'm audible to everyone out there. I hope you are all very good. So, meeting after a while. So, I hope you're doing all wonderfully well out there. Okay, so before we start, so I can see there are 31 people present out there. I would like to recall the kind of things that we have done, the kind of topics that we have covered at the previous sessions, and I think this is our second last session. So we are very much at the culmination or at the fag end of our course, right? And this is our sixth module, which is the second last module, as I mentioned earlier. So till now, we have covered quite a few things. We started off with the introduction to business communication. Then we discuss about the non-verbal communication, verbal communication. Then we discuss about the written business communication, and in the last one, we discuss about the communication for GD and interviews. So I would like to believe that we have got good amount of understanding, good amount of comprehension when it comes to these topics. However, I would like to also tell or either reiterate that if there is any particular question, doubt, you can please ask me. Otherwise, I think we are good to go. Our today's topic is presentation skills. So that is something we're going to discuss. So let's get started. I believe. Are we on the same page? Are we all comfortable? Are we all ready to go? Well, Ketan, I'm not sure about that. We're talking about this is you're about to start fourth module. This is your first class, but I would like to mention that. Okay, fine. That's what I'm responding to you, Ketan Jadhav. That I can. I'm not sure about the if you have joined for the first time because till now 5 modules are done and dusted. And if you can also ask the arbitrator, Mr. Shreyans. So, Shreyans sir, could you please come in and answer this particular query?
Sure, sure. So for the attendees who are attending the session for the first time, they can just drop their queries on hr@diyguru.org to get the notes and the recordings for the previous sessions by Mr. Hardeep, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Shreyans ji. At the same time, I've already shared the PPTs with the concerned person, so I believe that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, as yeah, I can understand that Nishant sort of at the same time, but I think Shreyans ji has already answered that. Probably we can proceed then. At the same time, the recordings will be provided to you. Again, lot many things, lot many people saying the same thing. Sushma, Vijay, Ritesh. Yeah. So as I told you, Noor Alam. Okay, yeah. So here we have got another message. If you can just check that, all the attendees, that you can just drop your queries at hr@diyguru.org. Well, Sonal, I think I can't answer that particular question. Shriyansh ji, if you can again come in and answer this particular question by Sonal.
Yeah, so now, you should attend the class because I think the previous modules are not that much of related to the presentation skills. This is a new topic by the Mr. Hardeep sir. And for the previous classes, just drop a mail on the hr@diyguru.org.
Fine, sir. That is what we want. I want to ask actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much again. I believe that the queries have been handled now. I think we can afford to proceed as mentioned by Shreyans Gupta ji, that this is a fresh topic. And for the previous topic, you can drop that particular mail. So on that note, let's get started with today's topic, presentation skills. And I can see 40 odd, 41 odd number of people who have joined this particular session. So let's get started with presentation skills, right? So these are the learning outcomes. Okay, what kind of things we are going to learn, right? That how we can deliver engaging presentation confidently. Okay, structure our content logically. Usual use of visual aids effectively. So if I just see the IP, the instruction plan, this is what something which needs to be covered as far as today's session is concerned, right? So we are going to discuss these things, right? At the same time, again, as always, there will be certain MCQs, okay, and so examples, right, that can help you to understand, to ensure that you can give good presentation. You can give those kind of presentations which are effective enough, at the same time that makes the right impact, that really strikes the chord when it comes to giving your presentations, right? So before I begin, these are the learning outcomes as I told you. Can someone please pinpoint that what is your understanding of this term presentation skill? You can give your answer by dividing these two words or bifurcating these two words, presentation and skills. How would you define it? You can write your answers in the chat box. You can turn on your mic and you can speak up as well. But before we proceed, I would like to have your opinions that how would you define presentation skills? Anyone, please. Yeah. Can I have your answers, please, in the chat box? Maybe you can write in your chat box. You can also speak up by turning on your mic or maybe turning on your camera at the same time. That will be better. How would you define the term presentation skills?
Sir, this is
Yeah,
Shreyash.
yeah,
Uh,
Yes, please.
so
Thank you.
presentation skills means how you present yourself, how you present your the PPT or
Yeah.
whatever projections you make, that
Hmm.
how you make, how you stand, how
Yeah.
you how you have the conversation with the
Hmm.
opposite person, or how
Yeah.
you present yourself. That is the main thing of the presentation skills that
Hmm.
falls under presentation skills.
Okay, fantastic, Shreyash. Thank you so much for your answer. Yes. Anyone else who would like to pinpoint before we
Yes, sir.
proceed? Yeah,
Sir, presentation means how to
Puneet.
express our how to express our thought process in front of
Hmm.
others in a
Hmm.
most better way, so that he can the person which is in front of us can understand it easily and can convince.
Okay, Puneet, thank you so much. Okay. Another answer was from Dasu. Presentation is a content and skills are how we deliver the content to other person that they can understand easily. Yes, thank you so much. Anyone else who would like to come in? Let's make it a very
Sir,
interactive session, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah,
sir, this side Vijay.
yeah,
Sir,
Vijay.
presentation is about information which we want to communicate with our audience
Yeah.
in form of slides or whatever content we have. We used to give to the audience so that
Mhm.
that information in form of slides
Mm.
so that they can understand easily,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it helps to gives clarity and engagement with that slides and uh, motivational thoughts वगैरह. That's all,
True,
sir.
true. Thank you, Vijay Kumar. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you,
Absolutely
sir.
spot on. Okay, those who have given their definition. So basically, the idea is very simple that we have got thoughts, we've got our ideas in our mind, how we can represent those ideas, represent those thoughts, okay, in front of the people via a PPT, you might say, at the same time using our words, body language, and everything. So basically, we have got lot many ideas in our mind, or maybe certain kind of data at the same time, certain thoughts, certain notions, how we can represent them, how we can showcase it to the audience. So that's how we can define presentation skill. Thank you so much for your answers and for your participation, right? So here we've got introduction to the presentation skill. So it's got a small definition out there. Presentation skills are the abilities to use to communicate your ideas clearly when it comes to and confidently to an audience using speech, body language, and visual support. So there is nothing rocket science about that. Yes, you have to use body language, you have to use your speech, and as I mentioned, as you people mentioned, that maybe you have got a PowerPoint presentation, right? And maybe you have got any other source by which you are, or any other visual support that you've got by which you're presenting your thoughts. That's how we can define presentation skills. But there is a nice thought that comes to my mind, that you should have power in your presentation, then you don't need a PowerPoint presentation. But that's something little bit kind of a funny one. But yeah, you need PPT, okay, you need the slides, you need certain kind of visual aids to make sure that that your presentation is engaging. So we are going to delve into deep into that when it comes to our presentation skills, dear friends. So here we go, that what makes your presentation engaging, right? So you've got certain thoughts, right? But I would like to open the floor once again. Here we have mentioned that clear purpose has to be there, audience connection has to be there, confident delivery has to be there, storytelling has to be there. Now, I would like to ask you people one by one. I mean, you're talking about these 4 points, that how would you define clear purpose? So when I say that my presentation should have clear purpose, what do I mean by that? So again, I'm opening the floor and I would like you people to again engage.
Sir, the communication should be in like
Puneet,
they should have the arguments and proper evidence through which
Okay,
we can
sure.
communicate. So these things
All right.
are required.
Fantastic. Puneet. Yes, anyone else?
Sir,
Clear purpose. Yeah.
sir, clear purpose is there for about which topic you have to chosen, or which you are going to talking about your audience. Your subject would be too clear, and which type of content are you going to be talking with your audience? Like
Right,
that.
Divya. Thank you, Divya ji. Thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
clear,
Yeah. Please.
clear purpose is what, like you can identify the problem statement correctly to the people.
Absolutely, Sonal ji. Thank you so much. Shubham is saying topic.
Topic should be
Top,
clear, sir.
yeah, topic on which presentation is going on. Uh, that's what you ask. Are you asking maybe? So the topic is presentation skill, but yeah, that's right. Someone else also given the answer. Yeah. So when it comes to this particular thing of presentation, we need to have a clear purpose. Simply speaking, agenda. For example, when I started off, okay, and even the previous modules that we started off, there was a clear agenda, wasn't it? What was that? Learning outcomes. What is the learning outcome? So the purpose has to be very clear. You are giving your presentation to the audience, and the audience are very much clueless that what he is going or she is going to deliver. That purpose is not clear. So the learning outcomes, the target to particular thing to the audience that you are going to present should be absolutely crystal clear. Second is that audience connection. Now, how would you ensure that the connection of with the audience is there, and that will make your presentation very fruitful? So how would you ensure connectivity, or how would you establish connectivity with your audience? Open to you. Again, I'm opening the floor to you people.
Sir, we should have the clear concept about what we are talking about.
Puneet is saying we should have the clear concept what we are talking about. Thank you, Puneet. Yes, anyone else, please? Let's come in. 45 participants are there, so that's a good number. So I would like to have more people. So then now it's 46. So let's have more answers. Let's have answers flowing like a rampant river. The river is flowing. Your answer should flow like that. Yeah, you can write your answers in the chat box also.
Topic understanding to the audience.
Topic understanding to the audience. That's how we can make proper connection. Yes. Anyone else?
Having question and answers and FAQ sessions with the audience.
Very good. Tejaswini is saying that having FAQs or question answer sessions. Yes. Your connection with the audience will only be there, dear friends, when you are not delivering a monologue, but you are ensuring that it's a two-way process. Monologue means what? Anyone, please? MONOLOGUE, monologue.
It's a one-way
One-way conversation.
Yes,
conversation.
one-way conversation, right? So I'm writing in the chat box also for your vocabulary thing, because as I mentioned in the previous modules, that we will be trying to enhance or improve our vocabulary with the passage of time. So mono, single, one. It can't be a monologue. So you need to make sure that your audience is connected. For that, what you can do is that, as Tejaswini said, that you can have FAQs, you can have frequent interaction, you can have just activities with this audience as much as possible. Thus, they are on the same page, and they're not feeling any kind of monotony when it comes to the presentation. What is the meaning of monotony, dear friends? I'm writing in the chat box again for the vocabulary purpose. Monotony. The adjective of this word is monotonous. Monotonous means, or monotony means, something that is boring. So it can't be, then it will not be boring. So you need to make sure that you are just throwing a particular question, or you're putting the question that will ensure that audience are always on their toes. What is the meaning of on your toes? What is the meaning of this idiom, on your
Being
toes?
attentive.
Being attentive. Absolutely, Shreyash. Well done. So you will be always on your toes. Audience will always be on their toes when you are maintaining that engagement with the audience. Next thing is confident delivery. So that's something we've already discussed when it comes to our verbal communication or non-verbal communication, the previous modules, that you need to have the confidence. You can't afford to be nervous, right? And if there is nervousness, that how we can deal with that, probably we will discuss that in the upcoming slides. And the last and the most important thing is storytelling. Now, you people belong to corporate arena, so can you please tell me that how storytelling is so very important when it comes to engaging presentation, and what kind of things we can include in storytelling?
Motivation.
Motivation.
Narration, being narrative.
Being narrative. Yes. Yes.
Sir, storytelling about it is concept behind anyone, someone who want to present presentation. It is behind concepts.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else? I've shared a word in the chat box, anecdote. Anecdote means story. So when it comes to storytelling, a good speaker, the I would say the epitome of a good speaker. Epitome, you understand? Epitome means the embodiment. Epitome. I'm sharing this word in the chat box for your vocabulary again. I hope you are noting down these words that I'm sharing with you in the chat box, because this will enhance your vocabulary. The epitome of a good speaker is that he or she is always a good storyteller. That can really captivate the attention of the audience.
Grab the interest.
Yeah, grab the attention. So you can have your personal anecdote, personal story, maybe a personal example, maybe, or you can share any particular story around you that people are also familiar with. That is always a very good start. That is always something that will hit the nail on the head when you are starting your presentation with a story. So remember that. Make sure that you are a good storyteller.
Sir,
okay. You have to be a good storyteller. Yes.
Sir, I have to. I will add one thing. Like if we create the mystery initially about the topic, what we are going to tell, then we can create the interest and attention.
True, absolutely true, Puneet. Yeah, that's something we'll also going to discuss in the upcoming slides. But yes, absolutely spot on. By the way, again, I've shared something in the chat box that I've just used as an idiom. Hit the nail on the head. What does it mean? It means spot on. It means exactly you have just said the right thing at the right place. So this is
exactly the right answer.
Absolutely. So this is something will make your presentation engaging if you have got the clear purpose, if you are able to engage your audience, if you are confident. There is nothing like confidence, right? I mean, you have to showcase your positivity all the time. You need to be a good storyteller, the most important thing, dear friends, right? Next particular thing that I would like to discuss with you is that you need to know your audience. Why we need to know the audience? Who are they? What do they expect? What do they already know? So may I ask you, dear friends out there, because again, we are talking about audience engagement. So let's have the engagement. Let's continue with the engagement part. That why should you know your audience?
So we should know our audience, like according to the situation. If you have a serious situation and you are joking around, that doesn't help. Or
Absolutely.
if you're having like casual conversation, and then suddenly like formal conversation, but you act informal in there. Again, that
Hmm.
doesn't help.
That doesn't help. Absolutely, Shreyash. Yes. Anyone else who would like to throw some light on this? Throw some light or shed some light. What does it mean by this expression? It means that when you are elaborating something, I've mentioned that in the chat box. Yes. Anyone else?
Sir, we should know our audience because it will help us to make our communication more relevant, engaging, and effectively, so that they can understand our communication in a better way, sir. Matlab, they can
Absolutely.
understand the matter what they want, what I am trying to make them understand, sir.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me give you another example. Thank you so much for your answers, and they are very good answers. Let me give an example from a teacher point of view. Since I'm an assistant professor of communication skills. Now, if I'm an assistant professor of communication skill, I've got three kind of students. Okay. I've got a student whose level of language skill is quite elementary. Then I've got next type of student whose level of language is intermediate. And then I've got the third type of student whose level of language is advanced. Now, if I'm trying to make them learn vocabulary, if I'm trying to make them learn idioms, I need to be very choosy. I can't use the similar kind of words or similar kind of expressions that I'm using for an advanced level student, and then I'm using the same with an elementary level of student. So that's why this example tells you that knowing your audience is that much importance. Another example I would like to give you, dear friends, that say for example, I have to deliver a motivational speech, right? And I've got certain audience, okay, that do not know about cricket, but I'm using very so many cricketing examples or cricketing terminologies or cricketing jargons. Will they be able to understand? No, because they are not familiar with the game. So if I'm using those kind of example, that might not help. So that's why you need to know your audience very much. You need to know the level of your audience, okay, what they're expecting from you, what they want to learn. For example, I know that your expectation is that how we can ensure that our presentation gets better. So I should know that. If I'm given this particular topic, and then I'm talking about uh, more about group discussion or more about debates, stuff like that, that will not help. So it's very important that you know your audience and you know the sensibility of your audience, right? You have to use such kind of words, expressions, okay, that audience are familiar with. At the same time, the choice of your topic has to be quite timely, or has to be quite suited with the requirement of your audience. Sometimes what happens, what do they already know? So I think that's something we can perhaps keep at the back burner, that we should not repeat those particular things that probably they're already aware of. Okay, so that's something we should not do. For example, I'm as I've given you the example previously, that I'm teaching an advanced level of student who has got advanced level of language skills. Perhaps I will not try to teach him or her tenses, because he or she is already very advanced level of speaker. So perhaps that would be a redundancy or repetition for him or her. So it's very important, it's extremely mandatory, dear friends, that you know your audience pretty well. Okay,
Like
moving on.
even in stand-up comedy shows, like we have to know about the like we have they should feel that then the shoes of the speaker. Like they should understand the jokes.
They should understand the jokes, Shreyas. At the same time, we also be very much careful as a standing comedian. We say that you need to understand the sensibility of your audience. That what kind of jokes you are actually cracking at that point in time.
Yes.
Do you have a mass audience or do you have a class audience? Right.
Yes. Yes.
So
Right.
from that point of view, it's very important. If you've got a class audience, I think you have to kind of just I would say that you just need to ensure that you create certain kind of jokes. You need to filter out your jokes. For
Yes.
mass audience, your approach would be different, isn't it?
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. Then how to make sure that your opening is very powerful, okay? And that's something some of the candidates or some of the participants were discussing about, that how can we start it. Yes, we can start with a provoking question where we are not making them aware that what might be the topic, right? At this point in time, when you're just asking a question, okay, for example, I would like to ask you that uh, in corporate life, okay, in corporate life you need to have great technical skills, but what about people skills? What do you think about people skill, right? Would you like to believe your people skills are equally important than the technical skill that you possess? So you can open up your presentation. You can just manifest, or maybe you can just show up your presentation this way by asking a thought provoking question. Or you can also present any kind of data, statistics. Do you know that this much of percentile of people, they do not have fundamental language skills? So you can also start with a certain data, certain numbers, certain figure, certain kind of things that are very much mathematical oriented. Or you can start with a short story, as I mentioned earlier, that you need to be good you need to be a fantastic storyteller when it comes to corporate arena. Or you can start with a quote at the same time. Some people, they start quote. For example, I would say, I'm teaching communication, then I would say that communication can make or break any relation, begin or end any war. Do you believe that? If you are with me, so then say yes, and we are very good to go. So these are, I mean, it's not like my way or the highway. Please understand that there are so many ways by which you can start your presentation. It's up to you what suits you. It's not like that I have to start with a story every time, or I have to start with the statistics every now and then. No, it's about that where you are comfortable in, and how you can present it, and how confident you are in yourself that this, if I'm going to start like this way, that will really set the tone for me. So it's up to you people. It's not like there is anything like favorite or anything. I would say that hard and fast. Yes, of course you can have favorite, but it's not hard and fast, right? So you just need to make sure that what can really set the tone for you. What is the meaning of set the tone? This is another idiom we have got. I've mentioned that in the chat box, dear friends. Set the tone. Set the tone. What is the meaning? What can be the meaning of this expression? Set the tone, set the ball rolling. What can be the meaning?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Okay, Vijay.
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
setting
You're just getting.
the-
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's right. You just have got certain kind of environment or ambience that can really ensure that everyone is on the same page. So you can have your choice. It's not like that you just have to just hang up or kind of just go that way. Now, before we proceed, there's a small halt. I'll give you a minute to just reflect on whatever discussions we have made, and if there is any question, any doubt, and if you are on the same page, please show your thumbs up or whatever, that whatever we things that we have discussed till now is comfortably taken care of. Not. Yeah. I'll give you a minute. So I'll be not speaking for a minute. If you can just reflect any question, any doubt. Okay, so I'm getting some of the emoticons from the students, right? And from the candidates, or from whatever we can say that parents or friends. Yeah. So would like to believe that everyone is on the same page. There is no question as such, and emoticons have been shown. Okay, the next thing that, I mean, this is something would be a little bit of redundancy. We've already discussed that in the previous modules. When it comes to non-verbal communication, your voice and body language. And I've already, and since I discussed this with you people, the body language part and everything. So at that point in time, I must have said it. I'm sure I must have said it, that if your words and body language, they are not in sync, they are not in parallel, you are not speaking the truth. So they have to complement. Your body language and your words, they have to complement, no doubt about that. If they are not complementing and they are on the other side, or they are on the we'd say that paradoxical situation is there, that is a problem. So you need to make sure that you maintain proper eye contact with the audience. And when it comes to audience, you should not gaze, you should not stare at one particular person, but it has to be fragmented for few seconds. It should be, but it should be at everyone. Natural gestures, right? Have minimal hand gestures, okay? Have very natural gestures in terms of your eye contact, as I mentioned earlier, or movements, right? But keep it very natural. Do not try to showcase something, or do not try to exaggerate your body language. Be simple, okay? Be very much in your elements. Be comfortable in your physicality, right? Voice modulation, extremely important. How would you define that? Let's see first of all. How would you define this term, dear friends? Voice modulation.
A clear tone.
Clear tone, Divya is saying. Okay, Divya, thank you. Anyone else, please?
Not sounding monotonous.
Not sounding monotonous, Devashish is saying. Okay, thank you, Devashish. Anyone else?
Taking care of your gestures, hand gestures.
Taking care of your gestures, voice modulation. Okay. So voice modulation is that when you just need to regulate your voice. You can't afford to speak at a very flat tone. You should know that where I need to up my pitch, where I just need to go down in terms of my pitch. So you need to regulate your voice. It's like a sine wave. You can't afford to speak in the same tone. Can we? No, not at all. So therefore, you need to have proper modulation when it comes to your voice. You need to regulate your voice every now and then, right? And the last thing is that you need to be confident when it comes to your posture, body posture. You need to exude confidence. You need to have abundance of confidence. You need to ooze out confidence. You need to have oodles of confidence. So there's, I think, no two ways about that. How can we work on that? Probably we can discuss that in the upcoming slide. So this is something is important, and that brings us to our first question of the day, or actually of the evening, I should say. Which is the most effective way to start a presentation? Okay, Dinesh, no problem. Okay, I can go through the recording part later on maybe. Which is the most effective way to start a presentation? If you can write your answer in the chat box. Let's not speak out. Okay. Reading from the slides, apologizing for preparation, asking a thought-provoking question, explaining slide numbers. Yeah, as far as these options are concerned, obviously the correct answer has to be C, that you need to start with a thought-provoking question. But having said that, we can also start by telling a story. We can also start by giving a data. We can also start by giving some kind of information or putting out a question, stuff like that. Yes. Now comes the elephant in the room. Let's address the elephant in the room. What is the meaning of this idiom? Anyone? I've just spoken out. Let's address the elephant in the room. What is the meaning of this idiom? Without looking at any resources. Someone has said problem. Okay. Anyone else, please? Elephant in the room means, dear friends, the big issue. What is the big issue that we need to address? So the big issue, obviously, people term this as a big issue, that they get nervous or stuff like that. So first and foremost, right, there is no magic wand. There's no magic wand that can, I just use a magic wand and then my nervousness is gone. It's not like that. You have to practice and prepare very well. There is no substitute to that, first of all. There is no substitute to hard work, they say. There is no substitute when it comes to your preparation. You need to pay a lot of attention when it comes to your preparation. You need to burn the midnight oil. What is the meaning of burning the midnight oil? This is another idiom, dear friends. Burning the midnight oil. Burn the midnight oil. What is the meaning of this idiom?
Like removing your fears.
Removing your fears. Okay. Anyone else? Burning the midnight oil means when you are working very. Yeah, working late at
evening.
night, you might say, or working very hard or diligently to achieve something. That's what we call as burn the midnight oil, right? So you have to prepare well. There's no two ways about that. I mean, that's something is absolutely unquestionable. Deep breathing, yeah, that can help. Yeah, people do get quite good help when it comes to deep breathing. That's something you can impart in your daily practices. Positive visualization, yes, you need to be, you should not have that negativity. See, there's a quote that comes to my mind, and an optimistic person sees possibility in every difficulty, but a pessimistic person sees difficulty in every possibility. So I hope you know what is optimistic. Optimistic means someone who always looks at the bright side of the things, what we call in Hindi ashawadi, and pessimistic who always looks at the bad side of the things, which we call in Hindi nirashawati, right? So you need to make sure that you always visualize positively that I'm going to go there and I'm going to just express myself. I'm not I'm not taking care of that, what is going to happen, what people will think about me. Okay, you just need to go out there and deliver. Okay, so we need to ensure that we visualize, we have got thought process in our mind that we are visualizing that everything will come up as per my expectation, as per my preparation, or as per the requirement of the audience. So you have to visualize positive, you can't afford to be negative. Okay, positive anything is better than negative nothing. That's what Navjot Singh Sidhu says. Positive anything is better than negative nothing. So be positive. Familiarity with the content. If your content is there, content remains the king. Watch movies. I think probably I shared this example before. Audience have become very smart. They are looking at the content. They are not looking at the star value. The class audience, they become very, very smart. Even the mass audience have got this element now that they look.
Student, please wait. I think there is a not network problem from Mr. Hardeep Sandhu.
Okay, can you hear me, dear friends? I just lost the connection, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think we are good to go. Sorry for that. Okay, so I was just saying that I was giving the example of people who watch movies. You know, they look for the content, right? It's not about the star value anymore. So if you are familiar with the content, right? For example, as a communication skill faculty, if I'm familiar with the concept of grammar, if I'm familiar with what is subject verb agreement, or what is tense consistency, I think the confidence would be there. But if I'm not familiar with the content, fair, I mean, no matter what, how confident I'm trying to project, okay, somewhere I would definitely get into a spot of bother. So it's very important that you are very much familiar with the content. I think these things will help you to negate, to keep the nervousness at bay. But having said that, I would like to reiterate that there is nothing like preparation. Prepare well, okay, and you can have your own ways, maybe speak in front of the mirror, talking to a friend, okay, or getting yourself into the zone. Sometimes it's very important to get into the zone, right? When you are in your zone and you have got the momentum, okay, you deliver wonders. So it's very important that you are in your zone. So preparation It's a must, dear friends. Okay, comes to another question in front of us. One effective method to reduce presentation anxiety would be what? Avoiding eye contact, practicing multiple times, speaking very fast, or skipping introductions. So if you can just write your answers. What can reduce the presentation anxiety? Yeah. So I'm getting the answers taken fast. So I would like other people to answer. There are 36 people at the moment. So yeah, absolutely. You need to practice multiple times, okay, till the time you get it perfect. There's nothing like perfect, but still you need to ensure that you have delivered your best. So that can only happen if you are practicing. So there's nothing like that. Now there is another important thing, importance of structure. We talked about giving presentation, right? We talked about you can start with a story and everything, but what about the structure? How you are going to structure your thoughts, and what is the importance of it? We will see the examples in the upcoming slides. Importance is very clear that it will improve the clarity when it comes to your audience. If you remember, those who attended my previous sessions, when we were discussing about the verbal communication or written communication, I thought, yeah, we were discussing, I gave an example of email. And I told you that you can't afford to write everything into the single paragraph. That would be very, very difficult for an audience, for a reader to understand. You need to have fragmented paragraphs. So similarly, that will improve the clarity. This will also improve the clarity if you have got a structure. For example, another example I would give is that when it comes to an interview, obviously you're going to tell about yourself first. Then you're going to talk about other things, right? Another example would be that if there is a topic that you have to deliver, you are going to talk about what are the learning outcomes, as I mentioned earlier. So clarity has to be must, and for that you need to give a proper structure to your thought process. It ensures a logical flow. Yes, logic has to be there, right? So if there is no logic, things are going wayward, okay, your presentation is going to suffer big time and audience will not enjoy at the same time. And it will also enhance your audience retention. What do you mean by retention, dear friends? It will enhance your audience retention. So how would you define this term retention? Anyone?
To hold.
One. Hold. Okay. Anyone else? If you watch IPL, you would be familiar about this word retention. In IPL, some of the teams, they retain the player. They retain the player. It means they do not leave the player. Okay, when there is an auction going on, they retain the player that we want this player. Retention means that you are getting it back. So if you have got good structure, your audience will be there. Yes, absolutely. Give your audience towards you or us. Yes, that is retention, right? So this is the importance of the structure. But how can we maintain the structure? Right, this is the way. This is the way that we can maintain the structure. Introduction, body, conclusion. I mean, you write email, you write essay, you write everything or anything for that matter, or speak. You need to have proper introduction, body, and conclusion. You need to ensure that there is a problem statement and then you come to the solution. Past, present, future, another way, and another way is star method. Another way is star method. So star method we discussed in the previous module. Can anyone please recall that? Anyone who attended the previous session, can anyone recall what is star method?
So situation, task, action, and results.
Good. Situation, task, action, and result. When you are asked to give an answer, especially during interviews or presentation, you can have this method that you can talk about the situation, you can talk about the task, and then you can talk about the action taken on the basis of that task and what was the result of that particular task. So these are the ways by which you can give structure to your presentation, right? You need to ensure that you are ensuring first come first. First and the foremost thing you're going to mention, then the secondary thing, then comes the third element, then comes the last element. That's the way you need to go. There is no rocket science in that. As you write an essay, you write an email, okay, or you give your introduction, right? That's the way you need to go about it. Or you can also adopt STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. For that, you can, for more information, you can watch out my previous discussion on this in the previous module, where we discuss about the STAR method. So dear friends, this is the way you can give proper structure to your presentation. I hope everyone is on the same page. There's another example for you. Yeah, look at the example. You can have this particular example. Imagine a student giving a presentation on campus placements. That's a very good example, very good example. Without structure, the student is randomly talking about company packages, then jumping to the interview tips, then suddenly mentioning eligibility criteria. The audience feels confused at how we need to start. But instead of that, what if the student starts like this? Introduction: what campus placements are and why they matter for a student. Then what is the eligibility for that particular drive, for that particular job? What is the selection process then? And then probably he or she can talk about the preparation tips. Then he or she can talk about what are the key takeaways and the motivation or the things that you have gathered from my speech. So wonderful example. As students, as you people are students, I believe you can adopt this method, okay, by which giving proper structure. Or you can also have the STAR method. So while giving your presentation, ensure that you have proper structure, and it would be icing on the cake if you can have good examples. What is the meaning of this idiom, icing on the cake? Icing on the cake. What can be the meaning of this idiom? This is another idiom we have got, icing on the cake.
Additional
Anyone, please?
benefits.
Additional benefits. Yeah, absolutely. Additional benefit on something, icing on the cake. What do we call in Hindi? Sone pe suhaga. Right. So I hope you've understood this example. Now, writing strong introductions, right? You need to make sure that your introduction is strong enough, right? For that, you can obviously introduce the topic, right? You can state the main purpose, you can preview the main points, right? So that's the way you can go about it. For that, we have already discussed, dear friends, that you can start with the story, we can start with a personal anecdote, we can start with the data, with number, okay? That will ensure that you are giving good introduction when it comes to your particular speech. So this is especially I'm talking about giving a PowerPoint presentation, so you can write proper introduction over there, right? Yeah. Now comes developing the body. Now, if you have seen those who attended from the module 1, if you have seen my PPTs, right? This is the 6th PPT in the, as far as the 6 modules are concerned. If you have seen, I mentioned very few words. My PPT was not wordy, was it? It was not wordy. It was like one point at a time, or it was more like picture oriented. Why? It was more like graphics oriented. Why? Because if you are mentioning too many words, sentences, okay, I mean, blah blah things, okay, it would be very monotonous. It would be very, I would say that mundane for your audience, right? And another word to learn, mundane. Another word to learn, mundane. Mundane means something again very much boring. So you can't afford to do that. One key idea per slide. Use examples, support with facts or data, right? So that will do, okay? So one key idea per slide. You can't afford to write so many things on different slides. One key idea will do wonders. It would be enough, because ultimately you're going to speak, isn't it? When you are giving the presentation, you're going to speak. So if you are going to speak, what's the point of mentioning so many things in the on the slides in the PPT? No point in that. It's very important that you keep your ideas very clear, and more and more if you use examples, and more if you use facts or data to support your idea, that will really make you stand in a good stead. Okay, now again I'm giving you 1 minute halt over here, and again I would ask you people to reflect, and if you can tell me whether we are on the same page or not, or if there is any question, any doubt, please ask the question. 1 minute halt. for you people to reflect. Okay, so Glenn has already raised the emoticon. Okay. Are the students, are we on the same page? Are we on the same frequency? Are we on the same phase? Are we good to go? Same wavelength? Some physics related words. Can we proceed, dear students, then?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting some of the responses. So thank you so much for your responses. I think we can comfortably proceed. Yes, so here are certain examples of how you can give your effectiveness when it comes to your presentation. You can talk about, you say for example, your topic is importance of communication skill. So one slide, one key idea, you know. So slide would be communication skills improves employability. Example, good communications helps candidates clear answers, interview questions, and perform well in group discussion. Fact, according to employer survey, strong communication skills are among the top skills recruiters look for in fresh graduates. So simple. There's nothing gigantic. There is nothing confusing. There is no quandary about it. I'm sharing a word here with you people. Quandary. Quandary is a very nice word, and because I've got this habit of learning new words every now and then. Quandary means confusion. There's no confusion about that. One key idea per slide. Maybe you all can have graphic, maybe you can have just like pictures as I've got in most of my slides. I think that will do wonders for you, because the reception of the audience, they receive from the visual things or one idea, rather than having too many words in the on the PPT, in the PPT or on the, you know, on the display. They don't enjoy. People don't enjoy because it would be very cumbersome for them to read. So it's very wise. It's sagacious, and I'm sharing another word for you people. Sagacious. Sagacious means wise, good, or prudent, to make sure that one key idea with example, with facts, that will really make your presentation very, very effective, dear friends or students. But a question for you. The body of a presentation should mainly focus on what? Is it the presenter's background? Is it the key ideas with support? Is it thank you notes, or is it slide design? You can write your answers in the chat box. Vijay Kumar has given the first answer. He's the first one to give the answer, I should say. Other people, if you can also chip in. Tejas, Shruti, Glenn, I missed one name, so sorry for that. Ashish, Saurav, then Tejaswani, Vishwanathan, Dinesh, Shreyash, sorry. Yes, absolutely. B, key support. Sahil, key ideas with support. Divya, they have also given the answer. B, no doubt. Now we're coming to the fag end. That's the conclusion, that how we can conclude. Okay, obviously, when you have got a proper structure, you can conclude it very comfortably, summarizing your key points. Call to action. Can someone tell me what is call to action? Without looking at any resources, because I can't see you because you don't have your cameras turned on. So call to action means what? Call to action means, dear students, that what is the immediate action? Yes, I said, or what is the course of the thing or the discussion or the presentation? What is the takeaway? Then what needs to be done? That is called as call to action, or how you can be contacted, right? Or then you can also have a very closing, memorable closing line. For example, when I close most of my presentation, I always say that the biggest room in the world, sorry, the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. I always, most of the times I close my lecture or my discussion using this particular line. So that's your way again. It's not like that my way or the highway. There's no hard and fast. You can use any particular line as long as it is quite professional, as long as it is within the gambit of professionalism, you can use that, right? Provoking and good lines with, yes, absolutely. It will help to have good thoughts. For example, when I say the biggest room in the world is room for improvement, Divya, it means that everyone needs to improve. It's not like only student needs to improve, the teacher, the faculty, or the every person from any field always look for improvement. There's nothing like perfection, isn't it? So you can use any particular memorable line, a closing line, a line or a quote maybe that can, I mean, that can really do wonders, that can really captivate the imagination or grab the attention of your audience, dear friends. Okay, we've got a question popped up. An effective conclusion should have what? It will introduce new topics. It will end abruptly, reinforce key messages, be skipped if time is less. Okay, so I'm getting the answers thick and fast. So yeah, we've got the answer C. Absolutely, it will reinforce your key messages. Okay, it will ensure that essence. There's a word, essence. It will give the essence of your presentation, essence of your discussion, essence of your speech that you have made. So it's very important that you've got a powerful way of ending it. And then comes the role of visual aids, as I can attach this picture, a PowerPoint PPT. It will help you to clarify your ideas better, improve your retention, and it will really support the speaker. There's nothing like that. It will really support the speaker. They are playing the second fiddle, but they are also playing a very, very important role, right? Okay, slide design principles, as I told you before, my dear friends, that minimal text should be there. Font should be readable. Do not use any kind of fonts which are very funky or which are very Gen Z kind of things, right? It needs to be very much professional. The theme needs to be consistent, high contrast. It should be properly visible. When I say consistent theme, it means that every slide should carry your essence, that what you're talking about, and every slide should be like that. For example, if you have seen that throughout throughout all the modules, okay, I've kept the same theme. I've used similar slides. I've used a similar platform, that is not platform I should say, but I've used a similar template. That's the word. Yeah, I've used a similar template because this will help you to be consistent, and this will captivate the attention of the audience as well. Okay, so now we have come to the culmination of the classes, and I would culminate with a couple of questions that I would you can see on your screen, and then it would be followed up by your questions if there are any. Which slide design practice is most effective, do you think? It should be paragraph heavy slides, multiple fonts per slide, minimal text with visuals, and bright colors everywhere. So where do you think, what do you think that should be the most effective part? Yes, absolutely, no doubt about that. Keep it minimal in terms of the text and visuals, right? Yes, you can have graphics, you can have more pictorial presentation that will really help you in a big way. And lastly, there's another question that by which I would wrap up the presentation part. Which combination leads to an effective presentation, dear students? Good slides only, confidence only, structure, engagement, visuals, or memorization? So what should be the answer for the same? Yeah, structure, engagement, and visuals. Okay, if you have got this lethal combination, lethal means very, I would say, potent, strong combination, that then I would say the sky is the limit for you when it comes to giving a good presentation, right? Now, there is a nice thought that comes to my mind that, they say that presentation or speech. So there's a nice thought that comes to my mind is that a speech is like a pencil. It must have a point. So that's the way I would end my presentation, that whatever you are delivering, no matter how good your slides are, how good your PPTs are, ultimately it is your speech, ultimately it is your presentation skills that will do wonders for the audience, that will make or break when it comes to giving your presentation, right? So if you are understanding it, if you understand the essence of this particular thing, a speech is like a pencil, it must have a point. I think then you are way to go. Sky's the limit for you. Okay, so on that note, I would like to conclude. And if there is any question, any query, doubt, then you can ask. So over to you now.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, this Tejas this side.
Yes, Tejas.
Please explain actually star method in short because just I
Okay.
missed that term.
Okay, Tejas. Good
Yeah.
question. Star method. Say, for example, in an interview, Tejas, I would say that in an interview, they've asked you that, can you tell me any example of your leadership? So how can I answer that when it comes to a star method? So Tejas, I can answer that. Well, I would like to say that there was a particular situation where I was working with the team, and we had got a particular assignment in our hands, right? And the task that was given to us that we need to complete the assignment, considering the requirements or considering the time limits, also within the stipulated time, we need to complete it, right? Following that, as a leader, I took, and I was the leader of that. Following that, I took this particular initiative that how can I ensure that it can complete within the time, where I just divided the teams into small groups and given them different kind of tasks. Okay, and thus we can come to a consensus ultimately. And the result of that particular action was that we came to complete the assignment within the stipulated time. At the same time, our project was very much appreciated from our teachers, uh, from our supervisors. So I think that's probably an example where I can say that I showcased my leadership skills, where I took the initiative and divided the teams and give them a task, different kind of tasks, and we succeeded in doing so. Like Tejas, have you understood it?
Okay.
Yeah. So star method says that you describe the situation, you describe the what you call that task given, and then what action you took, and then what was the result of that particular action.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, understood. Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Welcome. Yes. Anyone else, please? Anyone else who's got any particular question, any doubt, please? Okay. There's no question as such. Okay. Shreyanji, if you can please come in. I believe that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, Dinesh, Dinesh, I'd just like to reiterate that you can contact the HR team for the same, as it was mentioned previously by Shreyanji. So you can ask them and they will provide you. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the session is clear to everyone. If you have any questions, you can ask. You are free to ask the question.
No, sir, no more question.
And if anyone has any query related to the recordings and all the notes, then they can just drop a mail on the hr@diyguru.org. And let's wrap up this insightful section here. Thank you so much, Mr. Hardeep, sir, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your
Thank you,
time with
Shreyanji.
us.
Thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best. Okay. And keep working on the
Hardeep,
skills.
hello.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I have one question. Like when we
Yeah.
talk on
Tejaswini.
the yeah, when we speak on the Teams call and everything, and we have not met the person,
Hmm.
so sometimes our voice they don't understand. Like somebody told me that when you talk, your voice feels like you are very less experienced. So how to improve that tone? Like Normally my voice is like that. When I will speak in person with in like when the person is with me, it is different. But on the Teams call, no, sometimes it feels a little child, like I'm little
Yeah.
less experienced. So I
Yes,
have to
so
improve
it's again it's a matter of confidence, Tejaswini. As I mentioned earlier, that we need to make sure that we are. If we feel nervous, then we need to ensure that we are practicing. Okay, because end of the day, Tejaswini, you need to express yourself, right? Say for that no one is going to criticize you. You just need to believe that no one is going to put a question that why did you say that or something like that. You need to ensure that you are expressive. You are making your point. You've got a thought, okay, and everyone has got the liberty to express the thought. So from this mindset you should go when it comes to a con call, when it comes to a meeting, that I would like to present my thought. I'm also here to contribute. It's not like that my point is doesn't matter or people will just laugh or something like that. We have got this mindset. As I mentioned earlier, Tejaswini, positive anything is better than negative nothing. So you have to come up with this particular mindset that I have to make a point. And whether the point is valid or not, that's something the other people, that's something the boss will decide. Or that's something the the team convener will decide. But here is the point, and I would like to make a particular point, and I'm very much free to do so. But yeah, you have to do it in a very respectful manner, in a very polite manner, or in a very courteous manner. So I think this is an approach you need to have. And on at the same time, I would like to say that preparation is very important. If you are very good at your content, then confidence will definitely will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Shubham is saying in interviewer asked some question and I did not know the answer. Then how can I handle this situation? Yes. Well, politely, Shubham, you can simply say that, well, at this point in time, I believe that I can't recall it or I don't have much knowledge about it. Okay, so I apologize for the same, but yes, definitely I'll get back to that and try to get information about the same maybe after the interview. But for the moment, I would simply like to apologize. So that's the way you can politely say that you're not sure about it. But yeah, when you do that, just don't do it in the interview, but go back and try to prepare it, because you never know. And maybe in the next interview, similar kind of question is asked. So every now and then, you can't just get away by apologizing. So you need to make sure that you're preparing at the same time. Yeah. Yes. Welcome, Shubham. Any other question, please? Okay. Saurav is saying explain shortly in Hindi. Saurav, what you would like to know? आप किसके बारे में पूछ रहे हैं? Okay, last question जो I think apply for a job which is better walk-in or contacting through email. To apply for a particular job which is better walk-in or contacting through email. That I think, Glenn, I would not like to believe that it does matter that much. What really matters is that are you fit for that particular job? Okay, do you have the prerequisite things? Do you have got your credentials right? On that basis probably you can apply. Okay, if you're seeing an advertisement, obviously it can be in walk-in interview. You can also contact the person through email, and for that we discuss about that. There is something called as cover letter. That cover letter is something that you can use when it comes to contacting through email. सौरभ, आई थिंक यूर आस्किंग, आप पूछ रहे हैं क्वेश्चन की जो शुभम ने पूछा था कि किस तरह से हम आंसर अगर हमें नहीं पता है, तो मैं उसका आंसर ये बता रहा था कि अगर आपको किसी का आंसर नहीं मालूम है तो आप बहुत ही विनम्रता के साथ उनको कह सकते हैं कि मुझे इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर का अभी नहीं पता है, बट डेफिनेटली आफ्टर द इंटरव्यू मैं इसके बारे में सर्च आउट करूंगा या फिर मैं इसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करने की कोशिश करूंगा। बट फॉर द मोमेंट मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि मुझे इसके बारे में ज्यादा कोई जानकारी नहीं है, बट डेफिनेटली आई वुड लाइक टू वर्क ऑन दैट। तो आई थिंक दैट्स द वे यू कैन टेक दैट, बट विन वेरी कृतज्ञता के साथ आप कह सकते हैं, बहुत विनम्रता के साथ आपने इस चीज को हैंडल करना है। Any other question, please? I hope I've answered the question Glenn was asking, and then I've also answered the question what Saurav was asking, and Saurav has also said yes for the same. Okay, then Shriyanji, I think can we just wrap up the session then?
Sure, 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 sure.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you everyone. Okay, thank you so much. As always, I would like to share my contact in the chat box. So if you've got any query, any doubt, or if you believe that I can help you in any way, then please do contact. Thank you so much. Have a good time. Take very good care of yourself. And remember, communication can make or break any relation, begin or end any war. That is the power of communication on that night. Thank you so much. Take very good care of yourself. Good night, dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.